So tonight is going to be a busy night into tomorrow. Tomorrow's the non-tender deadline. The deadline itself is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time or 5 p.m. Central Time. So a lot's going to happen from today and tomorrow. And it's been a busy week already. Clickbait stuff, right? All over the place. Whether it be from Devin Williams clickbait to Corey Seager clickbait or to like Paul Skeens clickbait last week, right? So shout out to the chat, by the way. A lot of stuff's going to happen. Okay, Brian Cashman's doing his sleeping bag event for charity that he does every year. He's in there tonight. He's out doing his sleeping bag. And shout out to my guy, Ryan Garcia, for being out there asking him questions, man. Shout out to you, Ryan. Good job. Council Yeti. What's going on? Now, there's a lot of stuff that we know. Look, there's a lot of moves that are going to be made. And Brian Cashman even said tonight they're talking trade right now. They're talking non-tenders, and there will be non-tenders. And they're talking signings as well. We know Kazuma Okamoto is now posted. Tatsuya Mai is already posted as well, and they are in on them. So is Song Sung-moon is not posted yet, but he's another guy, a Korean player that the Yankees are in on as well. So, but there's a lot of activity. What some of the things that Cashman said today, okay, that there are not a lot of outfielders on the market that other teams have the resources to pursue. Meaning what? Yankees have two. Okay, and he also said they had two outfield vacancies. Okay, meaning what? That also means they're very likely not going to start Dominguez or Spencer Jones. Expect one of them to be gone. Okay, expect one of them to be gone. Don't know who, but one of them is most likely gone. Okay, and expect J.C. Escarra likely to be gone too. Well, the Yankees pursue avenues behind the dish as well to back up Austin Wells. There's some other guys available. I mean, we know this week the Texas Rangers made Adolis Garcia and Jonah Heim available out of nowhere, outfielder and catcher. And they want to trade them before the deadline tomorrow. So I'm not ruling anything out. David, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate you. What would dream offseason look like? I put out a video on this. In my dream offseason would be Tatsuya Mai from Japan, Kazuma Okamoto from Japan, Brendan Donovan trade, couple of relievers, and I'm going to do a video about that as well. And I'm going to be teaming up with Ken from Yankees The Ugly Truth, and we're going to be talking about trades that nobody's really thinking about, right? And for arms. But there's also the chatter about Devin Williams. The Yankees, they've already reached out, right, about a potential reunion. But there was some clickbait stuff earlier that people actually put out, which isn't true, that they were finalizing a 3-year, $45 million deal. First of all, okay, Brian Cashman's in his event. He doesn't leak that stuff to beat writers, ever. He doesn't leak the amount of years and the amount of dollars, because then they can go spread it to someone else. That he immediately loses leverage. He's never going to do that, okay? So it's just something to keep in mind, right? We need a righty bat. I expect us to get a righty bat, potentially too. Let's talk about retaining, bringing back Ahmed Rosario. Let's talk about, I even mentioned a couple people this morning, Austin Hayes, a Miguel Andujar reunion, which is nuts. I never thought I'd say it. But he hits 389 versus lefties. I don't know where the hell it came from. Okay, and by the way, anybody that hasn't hit that like button, please hit that like button. Let's try to get to 100 likes as quickly as we can. I always thank you. So the Texas Rangers are making Adolis Garcia available. They want to trade him and Jonah Heim, their catcher, before tomorrow's non-tender deadline. Okay, so I would expect one or two of them to be gone. They're trying to shed some payroll. And then today, they talk about Corey Seager might become available. And a lot of Yankee fans are all over the place with him, right? But the fact is, the Yankees didn't want him at 27 years old for $300 million, $325 million. Why would they want him at 31 for the same price? He still has 6 years, like $186 million left. And he misses probably 20% of the season, every season, in his prime years, right? So that is that's a dangerous proposition for $31 million a year. And that would prevent them from addressing other holes as well. He is not a position. He's not a need. He would be a luxury. Adolis Garcia could be a need for outfield. He hits over 300, hits about 320 in the playoffs, right? We need clutch hitters in the playoffs. From the righty side, he's got a good arm and he's a good defender in the outfield as well. So he could be an outfield option. Okay, they're talking with we already know we talked about their engaging with the Cardinals on Brendan Donovan. So Yankees don't need Corey Seager, CWE. They don't need him. Not at that price. No, thank you. Right? And then it becomes, well, what about Corey Seager or Cody Bellinger? Cody Bellinger, because it's probably going to cost the same amount, maybe 6 years, $180 million for either one. Around there, ballpark. Right? Then it becomes why comparing the two of them, they play different positions, right? But Cody Bellinger can play the outfield and the infield. Seager cannot. But Seager at 31, with a very significant injury history, that becomes prohibitive for the Yankees to address other needs, right? So I expect maybe a trade or two before the non-tender deadline, and expect a couple trades before the Rule 5 draft. I mean, they only protected 3 guys this week. I put them on the 40-man: Spencer Jones, Chase Hampton, and Elmer Rodriguez. So, right? So, Donovan would be super utility. He would be basically our version of Ben Zobrist. So, yeah, they got a shot to kind of sound Cody Bellinger. But there's other guys they're looking at too. So I don't know if Bellinger's a certainty. I don't know if they're worried about the back end of his contract, right? That's when we don't know. Seager's not. Highly doubt it's happening. Seager and Bellinger is no way in the world. That means they don't get Amaya or anybody else. And that's the case. So it's just something. Yes, Donovan can play all the infield positions. Shortstop, third. But we have Jose Caballero too. We got from he's American League's stolen base leader. So he's going to get a healthy amount of playing time. Okay? Just keep in mind. Okay? Jose Caballero is not going to sit full time so that Corey Seager can play here all full time. That's not going to happen. Okay? Bichette, I mean, if I had to predict, he's probably going to go back to the Blue Jays. But if the Yankees want another right-handed bat, then he might be a better option than Corey Seager. But he's not. He doesn't represent a need here either. He'd be a luxury. Okay. Remember, look, if you think about it, I mean, what happened in the playoffs? Yeah, our bats didn't do well. I mean, we scored. We averaged 4 runs a game in the playoffs, right? Guess who else averaged 4 runs a game? The Dodgers. And they won the World Series. Why did they, go so far and we didn't? Well, their pitching was lights out. Their pitching shut down everybody, right? Ours did not. So pitching is going to be a need this offseason for the Yankees. And I expect them to trade either Dominguez or Jones or some other arms for bats. I mean, bats for arms. And I'm probably going to trade arms for bats as well. Okay? They have Jose Caballero right now at CWE. They're not going to add a $300 million shortstop. They don't need a $31 million year shortstop, CWE. It's not going to happen. Hi, Tiffany. How are you? I mean, he said tonight he could trades. He could make some trades tonight. There's going to be some non-tenders as well. So I expect him to clear, a decent amount of money. Right? No, Seager's not a need. CWA. No matter, you can tell him 100 times, it's not a need. Not $31 million. Unless Texas eats half the contract, which is not going to happen, bye. Hard pass. Right? Ryan Beck. You get all twisted there, Ryan? You get yourself all twisted? If I had to guess, Jones and Dominguez is going to go. Jones would go for the bigger piece. Like if Scooble happened for some reason, somehow, then Amai's not going to happen, obviously. If Scooble happened, but it's only happened for 1 year, my guess is Jones is going to go. Dominguez is probably going to go from, I would imagine, relief pitching with controllable years. Good, Beck. I'm saying that you gotta get it all. Placement, product placement is important, bro. Right? We're gonna know a lot less. Yeah, and the deadline is 8 p.m. tomorrow Eastern and 5 p.m. Central California time. Right? Percentage, I have no idea. But he did speak to Casey Close today, which is Cloud Tucker's agent, Ryan Cashman, and he has spoken to Scott Boras, who represents Imai, Okamoto, and Bellinger. He's going to be in regular speed dial with these guys, and he has his phone fully charged while he's out. He'll be making deals tonight, and he might make the deals tonight, but it won't be announced until tomorrow. He could have made deals already, right? And that's the thing about Brian Cash; he does not leak, right? Does not leak. Oh, if I find out something, Tiffany, you'll know it. Okay, you will know it if I find out. I promise you that. Keep smacking that like button, everybody. We got 113 people in here. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes. I greatly appreciate it. We're working on the fair weather fan words too, man. We got up our level with that, man. We got up our level with that. They're not going to run it back. They're going to be adding to it. But even if they do run it back, they're going to have a better team. Cole's back. Some other injured players are back. So they're already going to be a full year of Caballero is going to be better than what we had with Anthony Volpe for a bunch of the year, right? So we don't know if they're getting Tucker or not. We don't know. My guess is I know they're trying to bring back Rosario. I don't know how much it would cost, but maybe the non-tender money tomorrow will free up the money to get Rosario. Dylan Cease, no, he came with a qualifying offer. None of these guys with a QO. At the end of the day, I do think Devin Williams is one that winds up walking. So that was clickbait stuff earlier today. He did not come close to an agreement on a 3-year deal for Devin Williams. Didn't happen. Okay. And I mean, there's an argument for Tucker. There's an argument for Bellinger. So I get it. And the Brandon Woodruff coming back to the Brewers probably increases the chances that they trade Peralta as well. He's got 1 year left, so. One reason they like Tatsuya Mai is because he has same arm angle, same kind of mechanics as Joe Ryan. He just throws harder, right? He just throws harder. Exactly, which is why at the end of the day, I do think Devin Williams goes. Yep, they're near 300. And Cashman said today, too, he can spend. He doesn't have any limitations. Which also goes against the talking point from the week before that they're going to go lower down to 270. They're already over 270. No, Hal isn't like George. His highest payroll is $100 million higher than George's was. So yeah, you're right. He's not like George. They're in the upper to mid 270s right now. But that also includes arbitration raises and things like that too, which are factored into that. That depends, Mark Watson. I mean, the bringing back Grisham, I think to me increases the chance that they might non-tender or try to trade Clark Schmidt as well. I expect some of these guys to be gone. Maybe not by tomorrow, but before the season starts. So they don't need Pete Alonso. Yeah, Corey Seager's he's a luxury. He's not a need to. There's a lot of chatter about him today, but again, they didn't want to pay him $325 million at the age of 27. Why do they want to give it to him now at 31 when he gets hurt every year during his prime? He misses like 20, 30, 40 games. He missed 60 games last year? Right. Brandon Donovan, because he's a fit here, John. He plays multiple positions. He's a contact hitter. He can lead off. He does a lot of things that the Yankees don't necessarily do. He does them all together. So he would be an ideal fit, Brendan Dunn. Plus, he's got 2 years of arbitration left, so he's not going to cost a ton. He'll cost a decent amount of prospects, but won't cost a ton in salary. Let him go to the Mets. If he goes to the Mets, go right ahead. Yeah. I don't think Grisham will be that far off. Remember, he had a hamstring injury, which set him back like 6 weeks of the year last year. He's going to be healthy coming into the year, so that's going to be factored in too. Yeah, pass on Harper, Seager, Machado. Yeah, and only one of those three has lived up to the contract to the full degree. Bryce Harper. Yeah. No, Ben Rice isn't going anywhere. If he doesn't, Benji, we'll know more tomorrow. I mean, I think he's quietly being shopped. I know Dominguez is being shopped. So, Vivas, let me pull up the list here, guys. Just so you know this. This is the 40-man roster of the Yankees right now. A bunch of guys can be non-tendered tomorrow, right? So, meaning pre-arbitration or arbitration. The Yankees can non-tender you and walk away from you. They don't have to pay. This is the time that teams get an opportunity to do this, right? They can't do it any other point in time. Once you sign a free agent contract, every penny that's guaranteed. If you're in arbitration, they can non-tender you, walk away, you're a free agent. So, this is the 40-man. Michael Arias, pitcher, he can be non-tendered tomorrow. Okay? Actually, let me pull up the Yankees payroll. That'll give us more clarity because everybody on the payroll is on the 40-man. Right? They go right to the 40-man here. So, let's go down to here. Clark Schmidt, $5 million. Mark Leonard Jr., $3.75 million. Let's see. Jake Cousins, $900,000. Scotty Frost, $900,000. Ian Hamilton, $850,000. Yorbert Vivas, $820,000. Alan Winans, $820,000. JV and Sandridge, $820,000. Braden Shoemake, $820,000. Brent Hedrick, they brought him back. So, and Kelvin Castro, they just brought him in. They just signed him. Who else? Yerry De Los Santos, probably going to keep him, but I don't know yet. JC Escar, he might get traded. So Michael Arias, he might get traded. So I just mentioned like 10 guys that could be non-tendered or traded. So, and if they don't get non-tendered, they can be traded. I don't know. I mean, I hope they don't trade Jones. The only way I can see them, Duvall's staying though, Mark. He's not going to get non-tendered. The only way I can see them trade Jones if they get like Tarek Skubal. That's otherwise I just can't see the Bryce is not a free agent. Bryce Harper, he's got like 6 years left on his deal. Dominguez could go to Miami. He could. He can go to San Diego for one of their relievers too. So he can go to a bunch of teams. But this doesn't mean Bryce Harper can't be traded. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. We just don't know. Right? And Brian, Dave Dombrowski kind of put his foot in his mouth, said he wasn't elite anymore, even though Bryce Harper had an injury as well last year. He took offense to it. So I don't know if he gets quietly traded. We have no idea. Yeah, Jeremiah Estrada, he's the guy, Bryce. He's the guy we trade Dominguez for from the Padres. Yeah, the Rangers want to get rid of Heim and Adolis Garcia before the Pixelman, before the non-tender deadline tomorrow at 8 p.m. So everybody smack the like button. We got 133 people in there. I greatly appreciate it. Let's just blow past 100 likes. I appreciate you. I thank you. Thank you again for that super chat earlier. Yeah, that's the thing. Scooby, you're taking a risk. So you know you're not going to trade for him unless you're ready to offer an extension of big time money. Big time money. But yeah, I mean, Adolis Garcia could play left field, right? And Jonah Heim could be essentially a backup catcher or a platoon catcher with Austin Wells, right? He'd be a good change of scenery guy. And he just, if I remember correctly, he's a switch hitter, Jonah Heim. Yeah, McMahon's not going. They're not going to trade McMahon. No. Yeah. But that's just the flavor of the flavor of the night tonight. It's everybody's all over the Corey Seager. We got to trade for Seager. We got to trade for Seager. Seager. Never mind, he gets hurt a bunch of games and dozens of games every single year. Never mind that. No. Right now, I'll take Caballero over Volpe, and I'll take Brendan Donovan. I don't want Seager. Not at that price. I'm not comparing him to Volpe. No, they don't love me trade McMahon. They just trade me. He stabilized the defense. Okay, the whole infield defense got stabilized, got better when he came here. They would not love to trade McMahon. Fans would love for them to trade McMahon, not the Yankees. He's not here for his big bat, even though he got 20 home runs, and he was one of the few guys that hit a home run in the playoffs. Okay, believe me, McMahon's not going anywhere. I would rather get Okamoto than Seager too. Daniel, I'm right with you there, brother. We do need to add a starting pitcher. We do need to add a starting pitcher. Right? Well, we'll see what they do here. Right? I mean, obviously, if you want a big name, I mean, Kyle Tucker is going to be. It might, because look, right now the Japanese players are their window is open. Once that 45 days are up, January 2nd, I think January 4th, then we'll see where they stand with Bellinger and Kyle Tucker. I don't think either one of those guys gets signed before this window's up, because some of the teams that want Tucker and Bellinger also are interested in these guys. So they want to play this out. And Scott Boras represents Bellinger. He likes to drag out free agency. And he might wait until Tucker gets paid so they can see how much they can get Bellinger paid. Right? Arbitration is basically the 3 years before free. You get 3 years of pre-arb. This is when your service time comes in. So you get 3 years of pre-arbitration and then 3 years of arbitration. And then you have free agency after that. So you have your service clock is 6 years before you can. This is part of the process to get to free agency, where you can then the sky's the limit after that. That's when you can sign your big deal. All right, the A's got to come. See, Jonathan putting out the news, man. Thank you, Jonathan. The A's, small deals are happening right now. A's agreed to minor league deals with Ben Bowden and Jeff Hartlieb. If I remember, Hartlieb was temporarily with the Yankees. I don't know if he's going to sign 2 Rangers players. He could trade for 2 Rangers players. No, I agree. Cabby's not an everyday shortstop, but he can play a decent amount. Okay. No, it's not terrible. And they weren't the problem. Caballero wasn't the problem. Neither was McMahon. Wasn't the problem. We can say terrible, but they weren't the problem. Who made all the errors? Volpe. And at third base, Oswald Peraza. When they were replaced by McMahon and Caballero, they were stopped. Right? So it's just something it's important to, I think it's important to point this stuff out. Robert Suarez is a free agent. I think I would go after that if he could. That reliever, Jeremiah Estrada from the Padres. He's a beast. The Rangers say 50% of Corey Seager's contract. 50%? Then I would consider it. But no less than that. There is no way in the world I'm paying $31 million for that guy. Never. Not at the age of 31. Mm-hmm. And if he interferes with their ability to bring in Imai and Okamoto, I don't want him. Yeah, we didn't sign Stanton, but we paid him. But Stanton, he missed as many games as Corey Seager, and he hit better than Seager did last year. Look at the stats. So Stanton's really not a good example to bring up. Stanton's hurt more than Seager. Yeah, but he puts up better stats than Seager. So, and he's a DH. He doesn't clog up a position. And again, Seager is a luxury. He's not a need right now. Not at $31 million a year. He is not worth moving on from Imai or Okamoto. He's not. So what he didn't say, he said they had two outfield vacancies. I watched what he said too. Yeah, two outfield vacancies. So I expect them to deal one of Jones or Dominguez. Maybe not by tomorrow's deadline, but before the season starts, obviously, during the winter meetings or something. Right? We do need pitching, Mary Ellen. Yes, you're right about that, 100%. And Amaya is a big target for them. And if they can get Amaya, then they don't have to trade for Carrick Skubal, right? So that's just something to keep in mind as well. Yeah, I think Jaron Duran goes to the National League as well. If they get Amaya, they don't have to trade for Skubal, right? And again, I would rather keep Spencer Jones, and I would rather trade Jason Dominguez for a controllable relief arm, a big one. I could see the Yankees making trade tomorrow. I don't know what kind of trades, but yeah, I think they're gonna probably trade some of these non-tender guys, or try to trade some of these non-tender guys, because they non-tender them, they just walk, they get nothing, right? You trade them, they get some type of value. So my guess they'll try to get a reliever or something like that, or so. Yeah, it's from Houston to the Braves. I saw that. Yeah, some minor trades going on right now. Some minor trades. We need righty bats, not another lefty bat. Right? Righty bats. And the guys that I mentioned all hit lefties at over 300 clip. They hit lefties well. Jason Dominguez, he could either fetch us Reed Detmers from the Angels, Jeremiah Estrada from the Padres. Those are big arms. Yeah. We have a closer, Luis, David Bednar. I'm not moving him out of closer for Edwin Diaz, who also comes with a qualifying offer. I'm not giving up $1 million in international money and forfeiting 2 draft picks for a guy that is going to come in here and bump a closer that we have out of closer. To me, it's not worth it. But again, I don't work for the Yankees. They don't pay me, so. Quan is decent. He's a decent defender. He could be a solid leadoff hitter, but I prefer Brendan Donovan. I think he's better than Quan. Tomorrow is the non-tender deadline. Brandon, what's going on, man? If we somehow signed Okamoto, then I could see Okamoto playing third base when there's a lefty pitcher on the mound. Okay, and then kind of moving around, maybe relieving first base, playing some left field. I can see him playing some different positions as well. But I at the very least playing third base when there's lefties. Ryan McMahon hits righties better than he hits lefties. So if we can get somebody like that, I would sit McMahon or DH him or whatever, and play Okamoto. Whatever you need to do to win, right? Like I said, I like players, but I like team better. No, that wasn't news. That was clickbait, Pixel Man. There's no. That's clickbait. They're not looking at 3 years, 45. Cashman would never leak that information to Ken Rosenthal. That was a clickbait video, Pixel Man. I know they're in dialogue with Devin Williams, and we know what the relief pitcher price is now, since the Braves signed Raisel Iglesias, gave him $16 million. So I don't think he's going to cost much less. But there's nothing out there, 3 years, $45 million, nothing. And like I said, Brian Cashman would never ever leak that to a beat writer. Giolito, maybe, or Nick Martinez. I mentioned him too. He pitched for the Reds. He could be another one. Weaver, I think it's time to move on from Weaver and Williams. I think Weaver will get a probably 3 or 4 year deal. Nelson, yeah, well, thank you. I don't think a lot of other people think I should work for the Yankees, but can they get Seager? Yeah, but I don't think they need to get Seager. Right? Well, Yamamoto wanted to go to the Dodgers anyway. We know this. And for those that haven't seen, there was a footage. I showed a photo yesterday of what's his name? Yamamoto having dinner with Munetaka Murakami from Japan. He had a sushi dinner yesterday with him. They are in talks with the Cardinals. To what degree, I don't know. But they're having dialogue about Brendan Donovan. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll try to get Jojo Romero too, a reliever. I don't know. He wants somewhere, but it's going to go down probably, I would say, by about $10 million by tomorrow. So, with the non-tenders, so probably be back down to 270, right around there. So, bad omens for the team are people who clickbait that type of stuff. King Solomon, you trade Dominguez, not Jones. Nothing suggests that he's Joey Gallo. No. But that's a talking point from a lot of folks who don't play the game. No. 72 likes. We got 155 people in here. The problem with Tatis is he's so expensive. Yeah, I know. The Red Sox and the Yankees are not on this no trade list, but that doesn't make me want him anymore. Corey Seager. Could we trade Wells? Yeah, they could, but why? Is the question. Why would they trade him? Manny who? Danny? Manny Machado? You talking about Manny Machado? Tatis? I doubt Tatis gets traded. I mean, maybe they'll try to clear up some money for the new owners, but I don't think. And now pass him Machado. We don't need him. We have Ryan McMahon there, so we don't need a $30 million a year third baseman. Evening Samurai. Real Muto, well, he's a free agent, but you don't trade Wells just to sign Real Muto. He's 36 years old. %80 of the Yankees fans. Where did you do a poll, CW, and why didn't they want Grisham back? They know more than the fair weather fans, so this we might as well just acknowledge that now. They know stuff. They're in on stuff that we're not. They know more than all the fans do. We'll see what they do. And mine just got posted 2 days ago, so we do have a chance. Yeah, we're yeah. Grish doesn't block the prospects. We still have another position available. Yeah, JKP. He's not blocking anybody. He was pretty darn good last year. And there really, if you look at the center field free agent market, there really wasn't anybody better than him in center field. That's a free agent. Nobody said he never made bad news before, CWA. Nobody said that. Okamoto got posted. Yep, officially today. Daniel. Officially today. His posting window starts today and ends January 4th. Imai's ends January 2nd. Well, they're in on. They are one of the favorites on Cody Bellinger, but my guess is they're going to try and see what happens with the Japanese players, and they'll address some other needs in the meantime. So, yeah. If you can get JT to platoon or to be a backup to Wells, then okay. But um, he's not a bad fielding center fielder. His look at his fielding percentage, almost 1,000%. Okay, and people are ignoring that he had a hamstring injury last year. Using these, they try to go over Twitter. These armchair GMs, right? But at no point did I worry about his defense this year, last year. And again, what center fielder in free agency is a better option than Trent Grisham, right? Dominguez, yeah, maybe I did see him be. To me, Dominguez is going to be he's going to be our super guy, man. I'm telling you. No, Ryan McMahon start base. You have Caballero. Remember, they traded for Caballero at the deadline. He'll get most of the reps tomorrow, shortstop. But I won't be surprised if they add another player. I mean, they signed that infielder a couple days ago to a minor league deal. Could be depth, but I wouldn't be surprised if they added the shortstop. But it's just not going to be $30 million a year. Corey Seager. Well, Grisham's going to start in center field. Yeah. Yeah. No, Grisham's not going to be the fourth outfielder. Exactly, Ryan Beck. How dare Grisham make it so that Dominguez stunk with the rise of right-handed hitter and couldn't catch the ball in the outfield? Exactly. Got to fully blame Grisham for that. He's a monster for doing that, man. Rushman might get traded. He's a switch hitting shortstop, but he's not better than Austin Wells either. So, and I'm not exactly sure that the Orioles would trade him to the Yankees. I'd be surprised if they did that. Jonah Heim, I can see as a change of scenery guy. It might happen, I don't know if it happens tomorrow because they want to get some value. Otherwise, they non-tender him, they get nothing, right? So I don't remember that they were about to get rid of him, but 22 million after what he just did, people want to give Kyle Tucker 40 million, and Trent Grisham had a better year than Tucker did. People want to give Bellinger 30 million. Grisham had a better year than Bellinger. Say 22 million is not really an overpay, at least in my opinion. That's the qualifying offer. When you compare it to the other contracts, right? He had a better year than $31 million year Corey Seager. That so many people want now. And it's easy to put him up against these other guys when it comes to the numbers because he outperformed all of them. There's going to be several non-tenders on Brandon. Maybe a small trade or two. But remember, they don't have to trade somebody that if they don't non-tender people that they don't necessarily, they might be traded in later. Tomorrow they have to non-tender them at least to get them off the, there has to be some non-tenders, right? It's the non-tender deadline. So after tomorrow they can't non-tender them anymore. You have to trade them. Who told you the Yankees want Seager? Who told you that? CWA. Why would they want him now at 31? They didn't want him at 27. Now, if the Yankees got Brendan Donovan tomorrow, I'd be surprised if I probably have to do some type of breakdance or something. Oh, man. Yeah, no, I didn't trade for Skeens. Skeens is not being traded this offseason. Oh, I bet you they are. I know they are for real talk for the real fan. Those are the guys that have all the inside people. They know something we don't. That's right, Beck. That's right. Good night, Beagle. It's always good seeing you on here too, brother. Keep them likes going. Smack those like buttons, gang. Get those thumbs up going. See if we can get over 100 likes. But again, this is what we're looking at tomorrow. And let me take out Verlander. It's a good question. I think Mad Max might replace Verlander the Giants. But Verlander, I could see something else. The deadline's tomorrow. It looks like it's 8 p.m. Eastern time, cruise control, and 5 p.m. Central. What's up, William Anderson? What's good? Let's see. Um, yeah, it says 8 p.m. Eastern, 5. It's right around there. Go crazy, brother. If they get Seager, then you go crazy, man. You're gonna take Volpe. You're gonna take Clark Schmidt too. You need some young pitching, right? Yeah, 2-time World Series MVP back in the day. Not now. He can't stay healthy, and he's in his prime. That's a problem at $31 million a year. CW, I know, man. I know it's a joke, man. I'm going along with it, bro. I'm going along with it. Yeah, Seager's not going to happen. What I want Trout, no. I like Trout, but no, he can't stay healthy either. Where are we going to play him? 84 likes. We need 16 to get the 100th. I mean, the next CBA. I'm not sure if the arbitration process will get a. I hope they do something about the luxury tax penalties and the qualifying offer things. There's just way too many penalties because generally the teams that spend are also the ones that sign players at qualifying offers. They're the ones that have to pay so many penalties, and they have all these other teams that get revenue sharing money at the wazoo, and they don't do anything. They don't spend it. Arenado, we don't need Arenado. The Rangers would not eat. I would be shocked if they ate 50% of his contract. Sammy Sosa might be an option. I mean, he looks like me now, Sammy Sosa. He got that pigmentation thing going on. He looks like a green girl now. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Gotta call him Charlie now. Charlie. Brendan Donovan, give me Donovan. That'd be a good catch. A good trade. Give me Sosa and Mariano, man. Shit. Right to the bank, baby. Right to the bank. Let's see here. I do expect a trade or two by tomorrow. So just make sure anybody that if you're not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. But if your notifications are not turned on, please make sure you turn them on right now. That way we can, when stuff comes out, you'll know right away. You'll be notified of it. Dominguez for Quan. That's a more logical 1-for-1 than I'm not giving them Jones. Dominguez, I might do. Mark Latta too. They should try him as a number 3 starter, man. He spoke with Kyle Tucker's agent, Casey Close. He also spoke with Scott Boras today, who represents Bellinger, Tatsuya Mai, and Kazuma Okamoto. 3 players that the Yankees are looking at. Volpe was hurt last year, so. Oh, this Otani has privileges, man. Privileges. Actually, George was banned from baseball when they brought Mariano Bear here. So was Jeter was drafted, Pettit, and Posada were all brought here when Steinbrenner was banned from baseball. He was banned for life, but they was reinstated after 3 years. George Steinbrenner, and that's when they got all those guys here. Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill, yeah, this is true too. They traded for Paul. They traded Roberto Kelly to the Reds for Paul. And I mean, people were like, why did we trade Kelly? And then Paul O'Neill became a Yankees legend. But that's right, they did trade for O'Neill, I think, too, but while Steinbrenner was banned. So a lot of the core players were brought here while Steinbrenner was gone, while George was gone. And he tried to trade Rivera. He tried to trade Jeter. And guess who talked him out of it? Hal Steinbrenner. Judge hit 37. Judge struck out that much in the minors, too. Have you seen his stats? Jones' stats, his OPS almost 1,000 despite the K rate. Home runs, doubles, singles, stolen bases, elite defense in the outfield, despite the strikeouts. George would not have a $400 million payroll. George never had to give $200 million out of his profits to revenue sharing and luxury tax penalties. Never once. You do know that, right? But I would agree he would trade everybody for Scooble. I would agree with that, CWA. But George, George made a lot of stupid moves, a lot of bad moves. He's a contact hitter, Donovan. Contact hitters, what do? They put the ball in play, right? They get ahead in the counts, which puts the pitchers behind an account. When the pitcher's behind the count, then they have to throw down. They got to throw in the zone more often. That it goes advantage hitter again. Lineback, man. Oh no, you dropping bombs with that. Oh, good Lord, Beck. Oh shoot, George would not do it to Dodgers because he doesn't have the same resources that the Dodgers have. The Dodgers are owned by a hedge fund. Yes, George got us caught. Yeah. He also got us Gary Sheffield Sr. instead of Vladimir Guerrero Sr. Cecil Guante. I don't know if he would have brought in Harper or not. He might have allowed it. I mean, and Verlander, he was a waiver pickup, right? After the non-waiver trade deadline, he wasn't traded, and then they put him on waivers, and that's how the Astros claimed him, which is crazy. I talk up Jones a lot. Jones is also a contact hitter who just happens to have light tower power and elite speed. He runs like Ellie De La Cruz does. He's a unique player. But Brendan Donovan can serve as a leadoff hitter. He can. There are players out there that can do things for the Yankees, right? Now, let me see. I'm keeping tabs on stuff here. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything going on right now. There are some prospects I think he'll get traded to before the Rule 5 draft, like Henry Lalani and somebody TJ Rumfield. They're not going to just let them get scooped up in the Rule 5 draft. They'll be traded before. So, Astros claimed Justin Verlander. Yep. I don't know what order they picked him, but yeah, they did claim Verlander off waivers. If the Dodgers get Tucker, don't care. He will make the show, Peter Friend, in 2026. This will be his fourth year. It took Dominguez 6 years to get to the majors. Six. Fairbanks did not get a QL. He's free. He did not get a QL. Cashman did talk to Tucker's agent today, Casey Close. It's not crazy to say because contact hitters also put the ball in play. Okay. Noah Verlander was not traded to the Astros. He was picked up on waivers by the Astros. After the trade deadline, he was picked up off waivers. I heard about Fairbanks. He has some type of nerve condition or something like that. That's what I keep hearing as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't think who would have thought that. Who would have thought Scott Brocious would have been so good when he came here? He was just a mediocre third baseman. He came here, became like a legend, right? I see the Dodgers getting Munetake Murakami. So I see them getting Murakami. Who's them? The Yankees. That's clickbait today. The Yankees did not want to sign for 3 years, $45 million. That was clickbait. That wasn't. Brian Cashman does not leak that information to beat writers. No, I would not take Correa. Yeah. The Dodgers, well, my guess is they'll ease him in, and then he'll replace what's the guy's name? Max Muncy at third base. Is it Muncy? Third base? Muncy, right? Is that his name? Um, that was clickbait earlier. Bregman ain't gonna happen. He's not a fit here. We need 10 likes to get to 100. Muncy, okay. They picked up his option for 2026. That I know. So the Mets, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the Red Sox are going to try and bring him back. The Mets are, we're going to hear the Mets run on everybody, just like we're hearing the Yankees run on everybody. So, but I think the Mets will spend, yes. On who? Don't know. I don't think they're going to bring back Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso. I think they'll bring back one of them, but not both of them. Which one? I don't know yet. When's the last time the Japanese won the World Cup? Have they ever won a World Cup? I mean, I don't know. I mean, they could. It's a good question about Murakami, but I don't know. We'll see. They would the Red Sox would be. I mean, the Phillies would be nuts not to re-sign Kyle Schwarber. Absolutely nuts. Well, we heard that yesterday early that the Mets that they have not reached out to Nimmo and asked him to waive his no trade clause yet. So a World Baseball Classic, yes, that's not the World Cup. World Cup is soccer, but they win the World Baseball Classic almost every time. Japan. World Cup is soccer. If the Yankees don't get Tucker or Bellinger, probably Okamoto. They'll be aggressive with Okamoto and Brendan Donovan, both of them. Something like that. I only watch the World Cup like when it's, I don't watch like the preliminaries and Uganda versus Egypt. I don't do that. I do think Bo's staying in Toronto also. USA is going to have a good squad. They will have a good squad. And no, Bo really can't field. His best position would be at second. That's when he can do the least amount of damage. And eventually, I do think he'll be moved to second base. Skeens, Judge, Cal Raleigh, Bobby Witt Jr. A bunch of places are. Yeah. Could the Rays? I mean, I guess they could, but I don't think they're going to pay him. Generally, the Rays don't pay that type of money. He's going to make between 25 and 30 million a year. Um, yeah, a lot of teams want Donovan. There's a reason why. I mean, he's good. He's good, man. I mean, Quan could be. Yeah, Quan could be. Well, they've talked to the Tigers about Scooble. Pete goes to Boston, bring him to the Mets. That could happen. And then what do they do for Vientos? Do they move him to first base? My guess is during the winter, right around the winter meetings, Yankee fan. The yes for the hot stuff episode. If I had to guess, Wanda Frank. Yeah, Wanda Franco's. He's never gonna play again. No. Nestor Cortez, nah, not anymore. Now keep in mind too, the Yankees have drafted a lot of shortstops, man. They got Lombard about probably 2027. They've got Dax Kilby. They just drafted. They've got Keenan Kent. Some of these guys will either be trade bait or make the big squad at some point. Mark DeRosa. Oh, is he still managing Team USA? Andujar could be. I talked about him this morning. He's a good right. He hits 389 versus lefties. I did not realize he got that good against lefties. I looked up his stats, and he does. He murders lefties. I seen some footage of Scuba working out recently. And as well as Mason Miller working out. These guys are monsters. Elmer Rodriguez from Puerto Rico. Yeah. Boricua means Boricua. No, Dax Kilby, I could see him moving to third. He's probably one of the more athletic. Keenan Kent, I could see him second or even first. So, shortstops tend to be the most versatile. They'll be the ones that can move to the outfield or play different positions. That's why the Yankees draft so many of them. So, Mark DeRosa, all right. 93 likes. We need 7 likes to get to 100. 7 likes, man. The Tigers would be crazy to let him go, but I understand you want to cash in on him. If they're not going to sign him, you might as well trade the guy. You're going to have to pay the man. I mean, he's going to get the biggest pitching contract in history. He will. So, if the Tigers are going to trade him, they're going to get a boatload for him. They will get a boatload for him. I'm at the age. Mai is the more logical one to me if you can get him. But like if you freaking get Scuba, like, that's gonna make you a favorite to get to the World Series. Torres did opt in. Yes, he did. He was one of the 4 players that opted in. Showed them Inaga too. Brandon Woodruff and Trent Grisham. Yep. Skeens is not going to. The earliest he'll get moved will probably be next off season. That's when he becomes available. When he becomes arbitration. This is last year pre-arb, and the Pirates generally don't like to pay their players. So if he pitches like that again, then he's going to have the mother load thrown at him. He will get a bigger return than Scuba would. Yeah, sell the farm for a year. No, nah. Yeah. Yeah, and Cashman's relatively stingy in certain trades, so yeah. Elmer Rodriguez has a shot also, Joshua, at making the team. He's got an outside shot at making the team. Yeah, well, the Tigers own Illich. His son owns the team now. I think the senior owner passed away, if I'm not mistaken. So, But yeah, I mean, it's there's always a worry that a guy like that's going to get Tommy John. I get it, and it depends on what the farm is. Like, sell the farm for one championship, and then what happens after that? So I'm generally not. I wouldn't. I don't think I would sell the farm for one championship. If I had 3 and 5 years, maybe, but not in 1 year. No, no. But that's where we're at right now, folks. So buckle up, and again, if not, we need one more like to get 199 likes. If anybody in here does not have their notifications turned on, please do that right now. Okay, because I will give you every piece of news that comes out tomorrow. The Yankees will be busy tomorrow, and I don't know if it's going to come in bunches or if it's going to come in scattered throughout. I don't know if it comes out tonight. I'll put out something tonight. So 100 likes, William. Thank you, thank you. So I appreciate you guys. Always try to get 100 likes in these streams. Now let me do a last minute check here. Um, Mark Ladder Jr. Yes, my guess is he gets non-tendered. My guess is E. Frost, likely Cousins, um, Ian Hamilton. I think in a non-tender 4 or 5 relievers. So I expect them to add probably 2 good relievers to the bullpen, and then you'll see always somebody winning out of spring training, 1 or 2 guys that we're not even thinking of. That just they'll get spring training invites, and it happens every year. I always appreciate you, Yankee fans. Same thing, William. So it's important to me that you folks know what's going on. That's why I don't do clickbait stuff like so many other people do, right? Clickbait stuff is just a waste of time, especially when it's not true, right? I understand, it gets clicks and blah 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 narratives and blah, but like there's so many clickbait channels. There's way too many of them. No, Cousins, I think well, he was really good. So if there's anybody that doesn't, I mean, would I be surprised if Cousins is not getting untendered? I wouldn't be surprised, but I do think at the end of the day, he will. Leiter Jr., Ian Hamilton, a bunch of guys could be non-tendered. And again, like I said, if they're not non-tendered, they can still be traded. They just can't be non-tendered after tomorrow's deadline. Right? You can't walk away from them then. So you have to trade them. And there's some guys on this 40-man roster that they can use in trades. Yeah, I do see trades tomorrow. That's why I say turn on your notifications. If anybody doesn't have them on, turn them on right now. Any trade that happens, you will be notified of it. Okay? That's my word. It's my commitment to keep you notified. And believe me, if something happens overnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, I get up to pee and I see something, I'll put out a short. So you'll know. But yeah, have a great night too, Jonathan. Tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow's a big day. Vivas could be traded. You're right. There is no room for him. A bunch of these guys could be traded. I mean, what I would on the back of my mind, I'm thinking Clark Schmidt could be a movable piece, but we'll see. I mean, if Anthony Volpe got non-tendered, I'd be shocked. If he got non-tendered, then I'm pretty confident they will sign a shortstop or trade for a shortstop. So, Hayden, man, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Always appreciate you, man. Thank you for being with the family for 5 years, man. Love my family. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. I appreciate all of you. This channel is great because of you, not me. Because of you guys and gals. You make the channel awesome. Yeah, I mean, it took a few years for Jack Leiter. Took a few years. That's what I mean. Like, you want to move Adolis Garcia and Jonah Heim. Maybe they can send them back Clark Schmidt, right? Add another young pitcher. He's got 3 years of control left, right? It also frees up $5 million for the Yankees. So just a thought. I mean, Jack Leiter, yeah, I mean, he's a highly touted prospect. He may be better in a year. Sometimes it takes a while for these guys to come around. And that's okay, right? But this is where we're at right now. So Brian Cashman, he's in his sleeping bag, but let's see. I agree too. I agree too. They know they're going to be over 300 million. I think we know it too, right? That's why. Oh, Mark Leiter Jr. I don't think he's a bust too either, but I think he's going to get non-tendered. But Jack Leiter, I thought someone was talking about Jack Leiter. Jack Leiter from Texas, he's a good pitcher. But Mark Leiter has not really been a bust, but I think they're going to move on from him. Minor trades right now until we have a better idea. Of whatever we have to find out what other teams 40 man. We're going to have clarity tomorrow. Like if another team non-tenders a few people who are like, wait a minute, we can sign some of these guys in free agency, or some people might be put on the trade market tomorrow at 4 p.m. in the afternoon that we're not thinking about now. Like some of this stuff happens. I mean, the owners' meeting just ended today. The GM meetings were last week, so they lay in the groundwork for stuff later on. So, depends on the junk pitchers, yeah. Like I said, I can only see Jones being traded if it's for school. Otherwise, what's the point? They will be over 300. That's why I don't buy the talking point. People saying, "Oh, they keep saying." But Joe Sherman doesn't work for the Yankees. Okay? And Brian Cashman does not feed him information, feed him intel. Just like he doesn't feed Ken Rosenthal intel. Okay? He does not leak anything to anybody, Brian Cashman. That I know. Okay? So we'll find out after the fact. We'll find out while it's going on. Yankees are finalizing a trade and blah, blah, blah. And so on. But it's got to be corroborated by multiple sources, not a YouTube channel that doesn't have any corroboration from anywhere. Okay? If Donovan gets traded tomorrow, I hope it's to the Yankees. That would make me very happy. I've been talking about it for like almost 3 years. So, I think one will be up here and one will be traded with Dominguez or Jones. That's my guess, if I had to guess. Right? Passon's another one I believe, but I need corroboration. Like if Passon says it, I need other people to corroborate it first before I put it out. Right? We don't know what it means. We don't know about 300. We don't know what it means. So I'm not ruling anything out. It's like we have no idea. But I know it doesn't mean 270 like some people were saying last week. I knew that wasn't going to happen. I think we all knew that wasn't going to happen. Hamilton? Yeah. Hamilton. Pirates have some good looking young pitching coming up. So, John, if I had to guess, 1 or 2 trades happen tomorrow. What kind of trades? I don't know. But they'll clear up some roster spots. They're going to clear up some money. And so on. So buckle up, gang. Buckle up. All right. So Passon, but Passon also has an imposter on Twitter. So just watch out for that too. He does have an imposter on Twitter. The other Japanese pitchers, oh yeah. Takahashi, I forgot his name. He's a decent pitcher. I mean, he's not MI. Tatsuya Imai is the premier arm. He's the premier arm. Donovan doesn't have to be traded tomorrow. It'd be nice if he did, if he was, but doesn't have to be. Tomorrow's the non-tender deadline for arbitration and pre-arbitration players. So, but stay tuned. Stay tuned, gang. So have yourselves a great night. Right? Peace and love to all of you. Are the best. And expect to hear from me quite a bit tomorrow. I'll keep you updated on everything. Okay? But it will be corroborated by multiple sources as well. It's not going to be clickbait stuff. All right? So peace and love, gang. See y'all tomorrow. Go Yankees.